Hello, folks. This is Bob Safale, and we're very excited for you to be attending our webinar tonight. This is our Thursday, 8 o'clock webinar. We do this every week, and I think you're going to be surprised at some of the things we go over tonight. That's for sure. But before we get started, I just want to make sure you all can hear me clearly. So on the upper right-hand side of your little screen there's a little hand you could press on and off just to confirm you can hear me. If anybody could just hit your little hands if you can hear me clearly. Okay, it looks like you can hear me pretty good. Anybody else? Make sure you can hear me. Just click on that little hand. There we go. All right, perfecto. All right, folks. Well, listen, we're very, very excited tonight, and there have been some very big, big, big changes happening in the crypto world, and we have been predicting these changes, these adjustments, quite a bit. And it's all going in what I believe is a very, very good direction, as you're going to learn tonight. There's certain factors that are happening that are important to the stability and the long-term growth of this whole crypto world. And I can tell you right now, the big players, the what I call the signalers that are signaling that, okay, this is a good place to be putting our money in, all the signalers are signaling in the right direction. There are not any, I do not see signals from, I don't want to say the powers that be, but let me just say people who put big money in things, they're moving in our direction. Okay, so with that said, we do have a very, very big crowd. A lot of people are still piling into our system right now. I do try to start right at 8 o'clock, so you don't you don't have to get here too early and wait. So there are two reasons why we deliver these webinars, and one of them is to really let you know what's happening with new technology, and that's happening right now. There's a ton of changes happening. They're all making both the crypto world much more efficient, but also CloudCoin much more efficient, which we'll touch on briefly here. I can tell you right now, in preparation for the huge launch of our digital currency, our big tech staff is basically going through every little part of the CloudCoin system in conjunction with Sean and his team, and working on efficiencies all through the process of how people buy cloud coins, how people store cloud coins, the ease of which one can now or soon to happen, be able to sell cloud coins. So I think you're going to like that a lot. So we talk about new technologies, but we also talk about breaking news. And I will tell you tonight, we're going to be talking a lot about breaking news. So that's going to be a big focus. Now, first things first, if you are a digital frontier marketing unit owner, if you own LLC units, I'm proud to announce we're doing our third big distribution of cloud coins that we just earned. And I can't tell you the exact number yet, but I can tell you you're going to have some smiles on your faces. And that will be occurring, I I kind of like to have it the same day as, the IRS taxes, April 15th. So that's what we're going to start sending out our distribution of our cloud coins to our owners, our share owners. And if you don't know yet, we do finish off the crowdfunding in less than 8 days. In less than 8 days, it will be done over because we can't run it any longer. That's it. We only have a certain amount of time per the regulations to run it. So just understand that that's going to be up in 8 days. That's next Friday. I don't know if they stop it at midnight. I don't know. So there you go there. But for you guys who are, excuse me, you guys who are going to be purchasing units, excuse me, you will be part of that distribution. And so there you go there. Let's talk about some big news that has been happening in the last 5 days. And it's news that you probably will go, huh? Why does that affect the crypto world? But I'm sure you've been hearing about issues with Facebook. And I kind of laugh at this. I'm going to be honest with you. Because the news that everybody is shocked about is that Facebook is selling or giving access to certain companies, giving them access to data about the users. I mean, I guess a whole lot of people, including some of the press, have never read the terms and conditions when you become a Facebook user. I mean, don't they understand that Facebook makes the majority of their money not on advertising sales, but on the sales of data, the information about who the likes people have, the dislikes. I mean, how do people think that those ads that seem to be so tailored to what you like when you're a Facebook user? How do they think it was just guesswork? Do they think Facebook got lucky? Do they think the advertisers out there that advertise their stuff on Facebook didn't have a little inside knowledge on who they were sending their ads to and showing them to? I mean, so I did have quite a chuckle when news was coming out about about a particular political contractor that was providing information. I mean, they do this all the time. This has been going on since 2005. So and believe you me, when you're on Facebook and you're hitting likes and you're commenting on certain you're commenting on certain subjects and you're clicking on certain ads that you see and you're doing surveys, every single morsel of what you're doing is stored and kept and sold and resold again and sold a 50th time and 100th time. So why does this have anything to do with the blockchain and crypto? Well, now that everybody's kind of figured out, wow, there's a lot of information that I have out there that I don't necessarily want to have out there, or I want to protect, or I want to encrypt. So right now, there's a lot of discussion in the last 72 hours about the applications of blockchain and different types of encryption that can allow users of Facebook to take control again of their profiles. A lot of talk. And here's the thing. Why does this affect you? How does it affect somebody interested in cryptocurrency? It's very simple. Let's go back to what I've been talking about now ever since I started these webinars. Right now, a very small percentage of people online are involved with crypto. We're still at about less than 1% adoption rate. Now, the more the word blockchain gets out there, blockchain, encryption, cryptocurrency, the more that's out there, the more people are going to want to find out what the heck is this. And the more people that are coming in to the crypto world, what that does is several things. It drives up the price or the demand for cryptocurrencies. And if you have more demand than if you have more people wanting to buy than people wanting to sell, it starts stabilizing the price of cryptocurrencies. It starts to stabilize it and make it a little bit more certain. And the more certain people are about cryptocurrency, the more money they're going to put into it, the more currency they're going to buy. So the more eyeballs in, the more demand there is, the more purchasing there is. It's all good. So when you start hearing, and remember, there's over 2 billion with a B Facebook users. It's over 2 billion. And now almost, well, I'm not going to say every Facebook user because that's ridiculous, but a very, very large percentage of those Facebook users, for whatever reason, are finding out for the first time that their data is being sold and marketed with and used. And now the word out is, heck, what do I do to gain control? What do I do about this? And what they're hearing, whether it's correct or not, I don't know how correct it is that blockchain is going to solve, it's going to be the panacea for Facebook. I don't know. But it's being promoted that way, and the word blockchain is being said over and over and over and over and over. That's got to help all of us. So the more people that hear blockchain, cryptocurrency, they keep on hearing this Bitcoin, Litecoin, they keep on hearing it, the more people are going to come in. And you guys are, remember, you guys are the first 0.5%. And if you take full advantage of it, that's fantastic. So I'm telling you, I love, once again, whether it's I'm not trying to cheerlead and say that blockchain is going to solve everything. I don't really know whether it is or not. I don't know if it's going to solve the problems for Facebook, but I do know everybody's talking about it. I mean, so that's all good. I like that news, and it's all, the drum beat's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder, as you're about to see. So that's the breaking news right now. Breaking news: Facebook is selling data. That's breaking news. They've only been doing it now for 14 years. But apparently the large percentage of people are finding out for the first time that who they've liked and why they've liked them and what they're buying and when they're on Facebook, when they're not on Facebook, how many hours of the day, where are they? That all data is getting sold. It's getting sold many, 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 many times. And there's a lot of people are concerned about it. They're all trying to find out solutions now. So that's kind of cool. Now, let's get into the topic that I wanted to get into tonight. And I call it the 3 major changes that are happening as we sit here right now. And it's affecting the price of different coins. And what you kind of want to see is you want to maybe get away from these huge rises and drops. You want to kind of narrow the spread. You don't want to see Bitcoin go to, 11,000 and then 2 days later drop to 7,000. Then 4 days later it's back to, 10,000. Then it drops to 8,000. That's unless you're just the most expert timing person of all time and you time your trades perfectly, you're not necessarily going to get benefited by these just wild swings. So what you do want to see is you want to start seeing a narrowing of the swings. The narrower the swings are, maybe instead of 12,000 to 8,000, maybe it narrows. So you start seeing it, maybe it goes to 10,500, then maybe drops to 9,200, then goes up to 11,000, then maybe drops to 9,800. You want to start seeing it narrow because that will encourage more people that have a little bit more fear in their heart to jump in And once again, the more people we have jumping in, it starts stabilizing it, and the trend is just going to naturally go up, 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 up. So one of the things that has been causing wild swings is basically, let me see if I can pull this up for you so I get it. Here we go. Is basically manipulation of the currency. It's called price manipulation. And back in 2007, 2008, back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, there was a lot of price manipulation of Bitcoin. So you could have one or two or three or four players that owned a lot of Bitcoin, and they could manipulate the price up, sell off, and when I'm saying 20% jumps in price. Then they'd sell off a bunch, make a profit, price would crash, they'd manipulate it up. So experts began identifying manipulators, specific people, specific sites that were causing ups and downs in the price of Bitcoin. So that's been going down. And this is an excellent article about it, because they get right down into exactly what manipulators are doing what, how much they were buying, how much they were selling. And I guess my point here is that price manipulation is now getting less and less and less because you have more and more people buying. So the effects of manipulation are much mitigated. So the more people in, the less manipulation can have an effect on the price. Okay? And that's what we're seeing now. The manipulators are less effective in terms of price change. Okay? And one of the there's some argument about this between different people in the Bitcoin world. The one of them is a coin called Tether. And Tether is a coin basically backed by US dollars and euros. And Tether is a fixed price coin at $1. And what was happening is Tether would issue more coins, and then people would take the Tether and use that to buy a whole lot of Bitcoin, which would manipulate the price up. Okay? And that was causing wild swings. All right? But what this article, this is this first thing I'm talking about. Tether, and there's a lot of criticism of Tether, just so you understand. There's a lot of concern because there's a lot of folks that are, that have been involved with their cryptocurrency in general world, and they were concerned about price manipulation. And the reason I'm showing you this particular article is because Tether issued $300 million of new tokens. They just did it. And there was a bump in price of Bitcoin, but it wasn't a huge bump. It wasn't a gigantic bump. And that's what's significant. Let me see if I can pull this and I can show you this. It wasn't one of those bumps that kind of freak out the world. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay? So on the 21st, 20th, right here, you had Tether release these coins, 300 million coins. Now you see this? Not a huge bump. So the price manipulation is starting to go away, which is a good thing for everybody in my viewpoint. You're starting to get if you take a look at this trend line over the since the 15th of March, it's a pretty nice little trend up. It's not a crazy trend. It's not going from, like right here, going from 8,200, going to 11,000, dropping back down. It's a nice trend. And we talk about a nice trend. Look at this here. You're at about 8,100 here. You're at about 9,000 here. Well, that's about 15% increase. I tell you what, most investment markets would kill for a 15% jump, even over a year. So when I'm talking about a nice, this is kind of like a gradual rise in the crypto world. So this is very significant that this tether, that manipulation is lessening. You could be a little bit, the folks here that are trying to do long plays and not speculating on literally hourly purchases or day trading, which I mean, if you're trying to day trade or hour trade on cryptocurrency, good luck. I mean, you're gonna have no hair left in your head. That includes women. I kind of like long positions. Currencies I believe in. I think they're doing something really cool. So that's the first thing that's happening. That's a big change. It looks like the power of manipulators is receding. It's not gone, but receding. Here's the second major change. Regulatory. You're now starting to see different, if a country, if a government doesn't like something, if they don't like it a lot, they just kill it. They don't try to help it or smooth it out or make it more efficient. They just try to kill it. Okay. So a lot of people say to me, I get people emailing me about, hey, this regulations are happening, SEC is jumping in to regulate. I say, thank you. Good. Now, I know this sounds odd because people don't necessarily want to have too much regulation. I don't look at it in terms of, oh, good, this is going to safeguard people from getting, hosed. I look at it in terms of, okay, the governments have decided not to kill the industry. That's a good thing. And for South Korea to come out and say, okay, we're going to allow ICOs again. But we want to regulate it. Okay, I can deal with that. They're not going to kill the industry. That's a very, very good thing. And another thing came out, and I call this number 2, I call it government acceptance. It's like, that I think that whole acceptance thing, if somebody goes through grief and anger, then acceptance, I don't buy into that, but it's kind of somewhat analogous to this. Look at this piece of news. Arizona considers accepting taxes in Bitcoin. That's a big deal. Arizona considers accepting taxes in Bitcoin. Very, very, very significant. Because once again, you have a situation we have governments, whether it's a country, whether it's a state, they're going, okay, listen, they're not going to crush this thing. They're not going to stop this thing. They're going to try to put some controls into it. And once again, good luck on that. Trying to put this genie back in the bottle in terms of trying to control it so it's like it's like monetary policy. I don't see that happening. But I do see the government's not deciding to kill the industry. They've decided, okay, they've basically put a white flag up. They said, okay, cryptocurrency's here to stay. And that's great for all of us. So that's the second thing. So the first big change is getting the manipulators either out of the industry or mitigating their creation. The second thing is government acceptance in whatever form it shows itself. The third thing, and possibly the biggest thing, is this: millennials. Millennials effectively have been hosed. And what I mean by that is they are inheriting a literally a wall of debt. Okay, and ever increasing costs. And I want to show you this. This is a pretty shocking little chart here. Okay, this is a single family in the 1970s. In the 1970s, a single family averaged $20,866 in fixed costs. That's like mortgage, child care, health insurance, car, taxes. About 20,800. So their discretionary income was 17,834. So almost 50% of their money was discretionary income. Let's fast forward into the early 2000s. Oh, how this chart changed. So although the average family, which now instead of a single income family turned into a dual income family, meaning husband and wife were, two people bringing in the bread. Yeah, they're making more. They're up to like, on average about 68,000 a year. But now 50,755 of those dollarinis were heading towards fixed costs, and the discretionary income was less than in the 1970s. It was 17,045 in comparison to 17,834. And you say to yourself, oh, well, that's not that bad. Whoa, 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 whoa. In the 1970s, $17,834 paid for a whole lot more than $17,000 in the mid 2000s. And folks, it hasn't gotten better. And who are the folks that are getting kind of who are seeing this for real? Millennials. Millennials are also the folks, along with the I don't know what the younger generation now. There's the millennials are kind of finished. Now you have another generation, but the millennials use computers and are online far more than anybody else. And what's beginning to happen is they're saying, I'm getting hosed because of monetary policy and the policies of governments regarding taxation and how they're handling inflation. So those millennials are now going, uh-oh, well, I better start doing things different. And those are the people that are starting to crowd into cryptocurrencies. And we're talking about a gigantic block of people. And they talk to each other. The average millennial is connected to far more people than when you or I were, I'm just a hair under 60. I can tell you in the 70s and 80s, my circle of friends, the people I associated with, was far fewer than your average millennial. So they talk to each other. So what are they talking about right now? Well, they're talking about, well, we got something's not good here. We got to figure out how we can take control of monetary policy and address taxation and how I'm going to operate, not just in the US or Germany or whatever, but how I'm going to operate globally. And part of their solution is they're getting into cryptocurrencies, folks. So that's the tidal wave that is now moving towards this crypto world. And when that tidal wave hits, it is, instead of, it's going to go from 2.25 million wallets or people out there buying currencies to 60 million fast. It's going to just go whoop like a rocket. And when that happens, for you folks that have been playing the long dollar on currencies, look out. If you folks that are playing the long game in this crypto world, you are going to win big. That's my belief. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But those are the three big trends that you can take advantage with. And my message on taking advantage, do your due diligence, do your research, get into coins and currencies that you feel strong about, make sure you don't spend the farm. Don't take your, don't take your retirement funds. Take money you can burn, grab onto a couple, two, three currencies, and hold. That's my feeling. Now, I talked last week about, you've got to have your, how exactly you liquidate your current coins, when you take profits, when you bail on a particular. I talked about that. You can listen to that to last week's webinar, but that's what you're going to do there. So the way you take advantage of these three huge changes is really, really research, really figure out what you want to buy with true discretionary income, not important income, and play it with knowledge. Okay. So with that said, speaking of knowledge, I want to talk about, we're about to finish off our first semester of the Digital Experts Intelligence Report. We've learned a whole lot of things about how to run Digital Experts Intelligence Report, and the folks that are subscribers right now have been seeing a sudden acceleration of information and guidance just in the last 7 days. We're starting to figure out exactly what data is important, how to get it to you, and our first semester ends at the end of March. So we close our semester and we start our new semester. And the new semester will begin with new information. We're going to be adding many more frequent alerts, not just on specific coins, but also on specific exchanges that are easier to use, easier to get into, so you can actually buy coins, we suggest. We're going to be getting into more information, specific alerts about new wallets that you can use. And we're going to continue to add additional alerts on specific coins, because our suggestions so far on specific coins have been very, very good. People have been very, very happy. We all also are going to be adding what I call trend news. Trend news. So these are news items, like you got some information tonight on 3 trends. We're going to be adding trend news. So there's going to be a tremendous amount of additional data so that people make less mistakes, both in buying and selling. In addition, we are going to be doing what is called tools training. We're going to be identifying different exchanges that are easier to get into and helping you get into them. And in addition, we will have experts able to answer more questions on how to do things. Now, the next semester is for 3 months. Every semester is 3 months. And for the first, I believe, first 150 students, we are going to do 2 things. We are going to provide 2,500 cloud coins, which have gone up in price since our first Deer class has started. So the first 150 students will get 2,500 cloud coins, but more importantly, we'll be locking in the price for cloud coins at just 4 cents. So you folks that are in Deer, if you want to get into the next Deer training semester, which starts April 1st, you've got to go right here. Let me show you. You got to go to Digital Frontier News and find Info Products. You got to click that on. And to join the next semester, you got to go down here and purchase the next semester by ordering now. If you're one of the first 150, you will get 2,500 cloud coins, and you will lock in a price for any type of purchases of cloud coins at 4 cents with us. And we just earned a lot more cloud coins. It will also give people first access to the collectibles. So if you want to get involved and be one of the first 150 Deer members, go ahead and order. You go to digitalfrontiernews.com and you go to the info product section, click that on, go down and purchase. In addition to that, if you have any questions or you're having trouble, email me at bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com. Digitalcurrencygrowth.com. All right. So we have some fun about to start. We're about to do 2 drawings tonight. Now, the first drawing is to give people the first access to our new digital currencies. And I hope very soon I'm going to be able to announce who our celebrities are. But I want to be very specific on one aspect of the digital collectibles. And I want you to understand why we believe the value of the digital collectibles are going to go up at a particular point on each and every digital collectible. The way we're launching the digital collectible, obviously, is the site Celebrium goes up, and we're going to have an initial anywhere between 3 and 6 celebrities. Okay, 3 and 6. And each celebrity will have one digital collectible that they're offering. And a limited number of those collectibles will be available. Once we hit the limit, once we sold, and believe me, they're going to go fast. Once they're done, that's it. They are retired. Now, that doesn't mean they're like gone. It means we're not going to issue any more ever. Let me say that again. Once a particular collectible gets the limit gets sold, it's retired. Then the only place that a person will be able to get a digital collectible is I think, and it's going to end up being called the trading post. Anybody will be able to go to the Celebrium site and click on trading post. And the trading post allows anybody to post the collectibles they want to sell or trade or buy. Now that is very significant because the way we're going to do this is kind of interesting. The celebrity who offers a collectible, they will at some point promote the collectible to their millions of followers. And we're pretty confident that once their millions of followers know about a collectible, that they're going to come running to the Celebrium site. But here's a little trick we're going to do. We're going to tell you guys about it first, and particularly the first few people. We're basically setting up lists of who's going to get notified first. And if you know anything about collecting collectibles, or limited edition things or first editions or whatever, the first few ones that are sold, and remember, these collectibles are numbered. So the first ones that are sold tend to be the most valuable. So what we're going to do is we're going to let people know that are inside of our group here about the digital collectibles before the celebrity goes ahead and promotes the collectible to all their people. Now, once again, once we hit the limit on a particular collectible, that's it. No more of that collectible will ever be produced. So my message here is you want to get your hands on one of those collectibles before the celebrity promotes the collectibles to their followers, for sure. So with that said, we're going to do our first drawing ever, and we are going to do a drawing. We've had about 200, I think 200, looks like 220 attendees tonight, and we're going to pick the first 10 that are going to be the first 10 people to be notified of the first collectible. So we're going to take our famous little random.com site here, and we're going to put 220, and we're going to draw 10 people Now we're going to do our 10,000 coin thing and after this drawing. But let's pick our first 10 people that will be put on a list who are going to be the first people notified of the collectibles. Does that sound like a good thing? Y'all like that? Let me see your hands if you think that's a pretty good thing. Click on your hand. You know, if you see a little hand in the upper right-hand corner, why don't you click on that hand if you like the idea of being able to get that access. Okay, that's good. Bing, bing, bing. That's fantastic. Okay, here's the first one. Okay, attendee number 97. Okay, let's do the next one. Attendee 114. And we'll let you know who you are in the newsletter. Next one. Attendee 215, 215er. Next person. 118. Okay. The next person. Number 12. Okay, let's see who's next. The next person. 72. Okay, here's the next person. 81. Don't you love this little random.com thing? It's pretty cool. Next person. Number 1. Wow. Okay, whoever got here first. There you go. Next person. Number 162. And the next person. 183. Okay, so these 10 people are going to be put on a very special list. They'll be the first 10 people who are notified of the launch and availability of our collectibles. That's number 97, 114, 215, 118, number 12, number 72, number 81, number 1, number 162, and 182. So let's go ahead and do our famous drawing for 10,000 coins. And by the way, let me give you my email address again, bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com. bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com. So if you want to be one of the first 150 second semester Dear members and you're having trouble, email me with the subject line Dear. All righty. Okay, now for our 10,000 cloud coin drawing. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo. Number 73 is the big winner. Okay, fantastic. Well, listen, I hope you enjoyed and were educated more on what we're doing here and understand trends better. Next week, I'm trying to get my guest who is involved with the artificial intelligence. We couldn't get that done this week, but we will try again next week. So I want to thank you for attending. I appreciate your support, and let's have some more fun with cryptocurrencies in the next 7 days. Thank you much.